Nebraska muzzle against Colorado finesse. We do appreciate you stopping by here, the voice of college football. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. Please like the video and subscribe right here. Looking at one of the ballyhooed Week 2 matchups. Of course, Colorado visiting Lincoln for the first time since 2018. Of course, the Buffs won the home-and-home series in 2017 and 18. And, of course, took last year's game against Jeff Sims and company 36-14. An embarrassing loss for Nebraska. Jeff Sims threw a pick that led directly to a touchdown. He had issues with the snaps and pretty much gave the game away as Nebraska trailed 13-0 at half. And they are looking for payback in sellout number 397. And in preparing for the sellout in the raucous crowd for a night game in Lincoln, Deion Sanders and company piping in the Nebraska fight song to practice, blaring it. And Nebraska leads the series 49-21 in their 73rd meeting. Of course, this is a legendary matchup from the Big 8 and Big 12 days. Now it's the Big 10 versus the Big 12, and how will it shake out? Of course, it's going to go to the matchup that we talked about first and foremost. First for the Buffs. Shedeur Sanders, 396 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks against this Huskers defense that finished fringe top 10 in the country last year. But Colorado ripped them up, especially in the second half when the dam broke. Shedeur in Week 1 against North Dakota State, 26 of 34 for 445, 4 touchdowns, and forget the pick. It was a fluke. But the Colorado run game could not get it going with Ohio State transfer Dallin Hayden. Just 9 carries for 20 yards for him. 23 carries, 59 yards against an FCS, albeit a championship-level FCS opponent. Jimmy Horn got loose for a $198 through the air, 7 catches and a touchdown. And, of course, Travis Hunter had a huge day. 3 scores against NDSU, 7 for 132. These two will match up against a good Nebraska secondary that had 2 picks in just 26 pass attempts against UTEP in a 40-7 win. They also had 2 sacks, including one coming from star Ty Robinson. The Colorado offensive line, of course, the much ballyhooed comment made between Deion Sanders and reporters. Not bolstered, not beefed up, just improved, but definitely not in the run game against an FCS opponent. On the Nebraska offensive side, we start with, of course, the freshman phenom, Dylan Raiola, 19 of 27, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks in a successful debut in defeating UTEP 40-7. Now he gets his first big game under the lights in Lincoln, so he gets the support of the hometown fans. The 2 incoming transfers were big in Week 1. Isaiah Nair, 6 catches, $121, 1 touchdown. Jamal Banks, 4 for 61 and 1 touchdown. But, of course, they're going to be working against maybe a porous Colorado defense overall, but the secondary, Travis Hunter, Shiloh Sanders, are 2 of the best in the business on an island. Nebraska will want to pound the rock, you would think. Keep Shedeur off the field and do what Nebraska does best. Take advantage of their big advantage. That's Emmett Johnson, Ramir Johnson, Dante Dowdle, Gabe Urban. They come with waves at you in the run game, but they couldn't establish the run against a porous Colorado defense last year. But we believe Nebraska's path to victory is, of course, to run the football. Do that first and foremost. If it never gets stopped, then you never have to throw it much. But if it gets stopped the first couple series, then you cut Raiola loose. Let him throw the ball downfield as he did in Week 1. But you're going to go back to the run. Let the pass set up the run if you're the Huskers. Don't blitz Shedeur Sanders. Don't blitz him much. He throws off platform. He can move around. He can burn you. And, of course, you don't want your corners on an island against Horn and against Hunter. Trust your base defense. Disguise those coverages. And, of course, you got to tackle in space. That is maybe the biggest key of the entire game. Tackle in space. Nebraska's got the better roster. They got the best 2 deep out of the 2 teams. But on the Colorado side, what do they need to do? Of course, they're going to throw the ball. They're going to throw it effectively. And Shedeur Sanders doesn't throw it to the other guys, like 4 or 5 interceptions last year. But can they get a run game going? It would appear no, but Dallin Hayden's a talented back. Colorado's not going to run it out of traditional sets and traditional ways. find creative run plays to free up Dallin Hayden, loosen up the Nebraska defense. Again, the Huskers have the best talent, the best two deep, the best roster. However, Colorado's got the best top-end players. They're special. They've got a collection of special players in Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, Travis Hunter, even Dallin Hayden to a certain extent, and Jimmy Horn. Should be an interesting matchup, of course. Much anticipated Matt Rule and Deion Sanders. Their approaches extremely different, but they had very kind words and compliments to speak about each other during this week's news conference. Nebraska, Colorado, can't wait for it. Our pick is coming soon right here at the Voice of College Football. Leave those comments and questions down below.